First of all, I want to thank you for this invitation, Her Excellency. And I want to thank her because in all this crisis, she was always present and made China and Greece friendship even stronger in these very strange times. I have to be very honest that during this COVID-19 crisis, the Greek government decided day one to preserve our very good relationships, to explain to the Greek people that this is a common human disaster and not a responsibility of one particular nation, and try to find ways to control the virus in our country and absorb the impact in our economy in the best way we can. Because of course, this recent crisis, as all crises, can either lead you to a conflict and to a bad situation, either make you stronger and make you find ways to go forward. And this is our choice. We believe that during this crisis, China may be able to see the real friends China has, and sure, Greece is one of them. And from the other side, we want to express publicly once more that we are very happy of Chinese presence in our country. We are very proud that Piraeus port, as it was announced yesterday, became the 25th port globally and the 4th port in the European Union. And of course, this would never have happened if we didn't have this so successful relationship with Costco and this big investment. And we are looking forward to make possible all the recent investment plans that were in process and they were a little bit delayed because of this situation, to make them again go forward and even find new ways and new plans that could make our relationships to be even stronger. I would take to grab this opportunity to express our admire for the way your government handled the crisis of COVID-19. We understand that difficult decisions had to be made, as everybody had, but you managed to control the disease in China fast, and maybe faster than someone else. And now we work all together to find solutions to this new economical and global environment that we are working. So after make these comments, I have to say that you know that our Prime Minister was to come to China because before the crisis for the Belt and Road and 17 and +1 initiative. Now we must find a way to reorganize this kind of visits. We had a very concrete plan about the master plan, Costco's master plan in Piraeus port, that we're still very, very attached and that we want to make it go forward. We were ready to make the opening ceremony in Crete, in the Minoa energy solar plant, that we worked very hard to have the licensing, and me personally. And everything now it's ready and it start working in a pilot way. So we're ready to organize a trip of some of your experts there. And we want to show to the Greek people that all these investments still continue and that life goes back to where it was before of this crisis. This is a message that we want to pass it to the Greek people and to the European community. So we have to make some arrangements to see how we'll make it happen in the months to come. And of course, all the other big investment plans of Chinese companies in AVMM, the other energy plans, in the CPRs in Panama and everything, we're here to continue them as our agreements predict. I remind you that during President Xi Jinping visit in Athens in November, we had signed many of these agreements that we want to follow, and we want to continue working very hard in all these things. So I'm here to express again the official decision of our government that we continue, and we continue even faster and even stronger than before. Our answer to the crisis is not one to blame the other or make things stop, but make our ties stronger. This crisis is a humanitarian global crisis, and we will pass it through all together. And a good relationship will help us pass it through better. And after all this being said, and before the Minister of Tourism take the floor, I want to make a public invitation to tourism from China that could come this year to Athens and to Greece, since our people are still very welcome to the Chinese people. Maybe this would be a very good opportunity for Chinese people to choose to come for their vacations this summer to Greece. You would be very, very welcome, and you would feel the warmth of Greek hospitality in a very unique way, even this difficult year. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Minister of Development and Investment of Greece, Mr. Άντωνης Γεωργιάδης.
Αγαπητέ Υπουργέ Ανάπτυξης και Επενδύσεων, κύριε Γεωργιάδη, αξιότιμε κύριε Λιου Σιονάν, Γενική Διευθυντή στο Τμήμα Νέων Κεφαλαίων και Επενδύσεων στην Καρδαπή της NDRC, αξιότιμε κύριε Πρέσβη, κυρία Ζανγκ, αξιότιμε κύριε Πρέσβη της Ελλάδος στην Κίνα, κύριε Ηλιόπουλε, κυρίες και κύριοι, αποτελεί ιδιαίτερη χαρά και ξεχωριστή τιμή για το Επαγγελματικό Επιμελητήριο Αθηνών η συμμετοχή μου σε μια τόσο ξεχωριστή εκδήλωση. Και χαίρομαι ιδιαίτερα που μεταξύ των συμμετοχόντων είναι ο Υπουργός μας, ο Υπουργός Ανάπτυξης και Επενδύσεων Άδωνης Γεωργιάδης, με τον οποίο όχι μόνο συνεργαζόμαστε εξαιρετικά για τη στήριξη της επιχειρηματικότητας στην Ελλάδα, αλλά ξέρω καλά το πόσο πολύ εργάζεται για την προσέλκυση επενδύσεων στην ελληνική οικονομία. Και η κινέζικη πλευρά αποτελεί μια εξαιρετικά ενδιαφέρουσα περίπτωση υποψηφίων επενδυτών. Γι' αυτό και το Επαγγελματικό Επιμελητήριο Αθήνας, το μεγαλύτερο επιμελητήριο στην Ελλάδα με περισσότερο από 150.000 ενεργά μέλη, έχει εργαστεί συστηματικά για να αναδείξει επενδυτικές προοπτικές της χώρας, αλλά και τις ευκαιρίες που υπάρχουν για τις ελληνικές επιχειρήσεις μέσω πιθανών συνεργασιών με αντίστοιχες κινέζικες. Θα ξεκινήσω όμως την τοποθέτησή μου αναφέροντας τους ιδιαίτερους δεσμούς που έχει χτίσει τα τελευταία χρόνια το Επαγγελματικό Επιμελητήριο Αθήνας με την Κίνα. Καταρχήν, είμαστε το επιμελητήριο με σχεδόν 1.000 κινέζικες επιχειρήσεις μέλη μας. Νομίζω ότι τα μέλη της κινέζικης επιχειρηματικής παροικίας είναι και μέλη στο δικό μας επιμελητήριο. Η ιδιαίτερη σχέση μας όμως με την Κίνα μετράει ήδη κάποια χρόνια. Είναι χαρακτηριστικό ότι το Επαγγελματικό Επιμελητήριο της Αθήνας ξεκίνησε τη δράση του για εξωστρέφεια το 2016 με τη συνεργασία με τον κολοσσό της Αλίμπαμπα. Ήταν η χρονιά που διοργανώσαμε με τον γίγοντα του ηλεκτρονικού εμπορίου τη μεγαλύτερη εκδήλωση Αλίμπαμπα που έχει γίνει μέχρι τώρα στη χώρα μας, με πάνω από 650 επιχειρήσεις να παρακολουθούν επί 6 ώρες τα στελέχη της Αλίμπαμπα να αναλύουν τις δυνατότητες συνεργασίας. Διοργανώσαμε τη συνάντηση τότε του Πρωθυπουργού Αλέξη Τσίπρα με τον ιδρυτή της Αλίμπαμπα, τον Τζακ Μα, τον Ιούλιο του 2016 στη Σαγκάη. Επισκεφτήκαμε την Κίνα επανειλημμένα και προωθήσαμε τις ελληνικές επιχειρηματικές σχέσεις. Το 2019 είχαμε τη μεγάλη τιμή να γίνουμε στα Τύρανα ο εκπρόσωπος της Ελλάδας στην πρωτοβουλία της κυβέρνησης της Κίνας για τα επιμελητήρια 17+1, δηλαδή την πρωτοβουλία που περιλαμβάνει επιμελητήρια από 17 χώρες της Κεντρικής και Ανατολικής Ευρώπης. Μια πρωτοβουλία συνοδότης αντίστοιχη σε επίπεδο αρχηγών κρατών. Και πολύ πρόσφατα είχαμε τη μεγάλη τιμή να βραβευτούμε στην Κίνα κατά τη διάρκεια του συνεδρίου για τα διεθνή επιμελητήρια και ενώσεις που οργανώνει η εφημερίδα του Κομμουνιστικού Κόμματος της χώρας. Βραβευτήκαμε για τη συνεισφορά μας στην ανάπτυξη των διμερών σχέσεων και την προώθηση του δρόμου του μεταξιού. Βλέπετε λοιπόν ότι έχουμε αναπτύξει έντονη δραστηριότητα με την κινέζικη πλευρά και αυτή μας η επιλογή δεν είναι τυχαία. Γνωρίζουμε πολύ καλά ότι οι δύο λαοί έχουν ιστορικούς δεσμούς που τους συνδέουν και πόσο έχουν προσφέρει στον πολιτισμό. Η Κίνα στην Ανατολή, η Ελλάδα στη Δύση. Έχουμε ιστορία χιλιάδων ετών και υπάρχει τεράστιος σεβασμός ανάμεσα στους λαούς των δύο χωρών. Εκτός όμως από το παρελθόν που μας συνδέει, μπορούμε να δημιουργήσουμε και ένα λαμπρό μέλλον με αμοιβαίες επωφελείς συμφωνίες. Αυτή τη στιγμή η χώρα μπορεί να υποδεχτεί πολλές κινέζικες επενδύσεις και το επιμελητήριο θα στηρίξει κάθε σχετική ενέργεια. Αντίστοιχα, η Κίνα, αυτή η τεράστια αγορά, μπορεί να υποδεχτεί πολλές εισαγωγές από την Ελλάδα. Τα ελληνικά προϊόντα όμως χρειάζεται αναγκαία παρέμβαση της κυβέρνησης της Κίνας για να φτάσουν τα προϊόντα στον Κινέζο καταναλωτή. και είναι κάτι για το οποίο αξίζει να προσπαθήσουμε όλοι μαζί. Επίσης, είναι εφικτό να υπάρχουν πολλές διμερείς συμφωνίες σε διάφορους τομείς, όπως τον τουρισμό, και έχουμε κάνει μια τεράστια προσπάθεια σαν επαγγελματικό επιμελητήριο γι' αυτό μέσω της συνεργασίας με την Alibaba, την ενέργεια, την υψηλή τεχνολογία, αλλά και τη βιομηχανία. Σε κάθε περίπτωση υπάρχει πρόσφορο έδαφος για την win-win επιχειρηματικές συνέργειες που θα βοηθήσουν και την κινέζικη επιχειρηματικότητα να μπει ακόμα πιο δυνατά στην Ευρώπη μέσω της ελληνικής πύλης εισόδου, αλλά και τις ελληνικές επιχειρήσεις να συνάψουν συμφωνίες που θα δίνουν προοπτικές ανάπτυξης και στις ίδιες και κατ' επέκταση στην ελληνική οικονομία. Αυτό αποτελεί το πρώτο μέλημά μας ως επιμελητήριο και εύχομαι να δούμε γρήγορα τέτοιες προσπάθειες προς όφελος και της Ελλάδας και της Κίνας. Σας ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. Ευχαριστώ και τον φίλο μου τον Γιώργο τον Φλωρά και εύχομαι κάθε επιτυχία στη σημερινή εκδήλωση.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ioannis Hadjifrodosiou, President of the Athens Chamber of Tradesmen, the biggest chamber in Greece. We continue now by calling Her Excellency, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China in Greece, Mrs. Zhang Qiwei, to take the floor. Your Excellency.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. Thank you very much. And distinguished Minister Georgiadis, my great friend, and distinguished Ambassador Iliopoulos, my dear colleague, and distinguished Director General Mr. Liu Xiaonan, Sidang, and distinguished members of the business community and friends. Kalimera, 大家好，非常高兴的在这里见到大家。It is really
very happy to meet you here.
To attend today's online discussion and forum, and to discuss in this new era how are we going to further promote our bilateral relationship, especially in the field of trade, economic, and investment. Even though that we cannot have a face-to-face meeting, but I think this online technology and platform gives us the opportunity to meet and communicate wherever we are. The advantage is that we don't have to worry about physical distance, and we don't have to worry about the difference in time. We can meet from anywhere at any time. So today we know that we have friends, business leaders from different places in China who are attending today's forum. And also we have many business people and friends from all over Europe. I know that people from Brussels, Luxembourg, UK, Germany, Spain, and many other countries are here with us. And so I am very pleased to attend this event. Minister, I'm very much encouraged with what you have said. I think I agree with you that after this epidemic or pandemic, I think our relationship is stronger, and we will do more together to bring a better result and also benefit our two peoples. Actually, the organization of this event and the very positive response from both sides shows the importance that not only our government attached to this relationship, also there is very strong desire on both sides from the business community, from the two peoples, to forge strong ties and cooperation. So we are very much encouraged by this. This outbreak of COVID-19 virus has really impacted the international economic and social environment. And it is happening in an unprecedented manner. And this is not only a test to national governance, but also I think it has prompted very serious thinking on global governance. But I think, as far as combating this virus is concerned, I think we are very proud to say that for both of us, Greece, we have dealt this quite well, and we have actually effectively put under control the epidemic within the shortest period of time as possible. And we have now resumed to the phase of production and business as usual. And so by taking very effective and scientific and also prompt measures, we are able to contribute to the world combat of this pandemic, and also contributing to world cooperation and development. Today, I think everyone is very much concerned with the international economy. I think the economy as a whole, the world economy that we face today, is rather gloomy and very disquieting. It is predicted by international organizations that the global growth will decline by 3.8% this year, But I think the good news, and I wanted to assure you, that China is expected to register positive growth. And I think this is good news, not only for China, but also for the world. I think we are quite confident that we will overcome the effects of the pandemic and achieve positive growth. For this year, actually, we are faced with very important issues. We have very, very important issues on the agenda. That is to say that we are trying to achieve the goal of building a moderately prosperous society in all aspects and eradicate extreme, or we call it absolute poverty, by the end of this year. This is a very courageous goal, and my government, our people are quite confident that we will be able to achieve this by the end of the year, despite of the COVID-19. And this is, I think, the biggest contribution to the world. And in doing so, we are committed even more than before to opening up to the world, to international cooperation with all countries. But how can we be so confident about this? Let me explain a few points. We don't have so much time. I can only say a few things, but let me give you a few reasons for showing that we are quite confident that we will attain these goals, and China will remain a strong engine of global economic development in the coming years. First, I would like to say that the fundamentals of China's economy are still sound and remain unchanged despite of the pandemic. After more than 40 years of reform and opening up, China now has the most complete industrial system. China has a strong production capability and industry supporting capacity, and has a huge market, domestic market. So this year, actually, in the China's economy contracted in the first quarter of this year due to the impact of the epidemic. However, it soon recovered in April. So we already have seen the statistics and data for the month of April, or the first quarter. Actually, we see that things are returning to normal. The benchmark industrial enterprises have increased their added value by 3.9% in the month of April. And also the manufacturing industry grew by 5%. So this is already very good news for the month of April. The second point I wanted to make is that China is actually witnessing rapid growth in the new industrialization, IT, urbanization, and agricultural modernization, and its economic vitality and momentum will not be weakened by this temporary difficulty. During this epidemic, of course, when traditional industries encountered a strong headwind, new industries and new business supported by digital technologies have really thrived, such as online consumption, big data, artificial intelligence, and so on. So there are many, many opportunities provided by digitalization. They are forming the new engines of development. For example, in China today, these are really prospering. New phenomenons like cloud business, big data bill sharing, live streaming sales promotion, and production line through IoT. So what I'm trying to say is that even though we are facing very serious difficulties, but I think there are new opportunities that we must realize. And also we are still in the process of restructuring of the economy. We're hoping that this pandemic will be a new stimulus for restructuring of the economy, so that we will achieve will implement along the path of innovative, coordinated, green, open, and shared development. The third point I wanted to make is that the government has taken a series of very strong measures to keep the vitality of the economy. So according to this year's annual report on the work of the government that was adopted at the two sessions of China's legislature, we are adopting a more proactive fiscal policy and a more flexible and appropriate monetary policy. And we will try everything possible to energize market players and boost new drivers of growth. So the government is taking various measures to energize the economy. So I wanted also to say that it is important that with the restructuring, we are promoting even more domestic consumption. So the domestic consumption will grow immensely, especially with the eradication of poverty in China. So I'm sure that you all are aware that China is a huge market. We are a country of 1.4 billion people, consisting of more than 100 million market entities. Our market entities or businesses, we have 100 million. And among this 1.4 billion people, we have about 170 million people with higher education or professional skills. And now we have more than 400 million people of middle income. So about 400 million people in the middle income category. So really, I think the expansion, the growth of the Chinese market is really good news to the world. I just wanted to give you some figures that for the first quarter of this year, even though we are all undergoing very difficult times, but the export of Greece to China increased by 30%. By 30% growth, the products that went to China. As you probably have read in the news that starting from this month, the Greek saffron is actually going to China. So the farmers said that this has been a dream for the Greek farmers for years. And finally, that with the efforts made by both of our governments and the government agencies, that the saffron is now going to China, opening the Chinese market. So I don't think the farmers will have anything to worry once you have such a big market. And another example I wanted to give to you that the EU as a whole, in the first quarter, actually, its pork exported to China broke a new record, broke a new historical record, the pork exported to China. And so actually, out of all the pork, the pig meat going to China, going to the world, actually, 54% went to China. 54% of the pork in Europe went to China. So this was an increase of 76% in the first quarter of this year. So what I'm trying to say that even though that we are going through difficulties, but there are still some very good news. So over the past decades, actually, China's development has been achieved by integrating itself into the rest of the world. So China has now become deeply intertwined with the world economy. China firmly believes that international cooperation is the key to sustainable development. And this is not only what we believe, and this is exactly what we have been doing for the past years. 8 years ago, President Xi Jinping put forward the Belt and Road Initiative, which is now becoming international public good that promotes deepened cooperation and common development among countries. So since the beginning of this year, actually, the Belt and Road Initiative or projects have continued to make new progress. So this again, in the period of this challenge, this has highlighted the value, the resilience, and the vitality of this BNR initiative. So actually, in the first quarter of this year, China's foreign trade with the BRI partners increased by 3.2% year on year. And the non-financial direct investment by Chinese businesses in the Belt and Road countries increased by 13%. The latest number is 13%. I firmly believe that the post-pandemic era, the Belt and Road Initiative will provide an even broader opportunity for countries to deepen cooperation. So I wanted to say that in this aspect, as Mr. Liu has mentioned, and also the minister also mentioned, that we're so happy to see that the Piraeus port is playing an even more important role, as now it is already the 25th port in the world, among the world ports, and is number 4 in Europe, number 1 in Mediterranean. So we're very, very happy for Greece. So China and Greece are really important BRI partners. Greece is the first developed country in Europe to sign an MOU with China on the Belt and Road construction. Greece also became a member of the 17+1 since last year. It became a full member. President Xi Jinping last November paid a successful state visit to Greece, ushering in a new era for our bilateral relationship. In taking up the challenge of the epidemic, our governments have supported each other and worked together. So I cannot agree more with Minister Georgiadis when he said that we have shown solidarity to each other. We have given each other great help during this crisis and in other crises. And think this has really further deepened our friendship, consolidated our comprehensive strategic partnership, and laid a more solid foundation for the two countries to further our ties in the coming months and years. I would like to stress one point, however. I think that the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us something very clearly. It is during all these past months, it made very clear to us once again that we live in the same global village. Our fate is shared, and I think we have to really work together, especially in this age of interdependence and transnational crisis. I think it is so important to deepen international cooperation. I think what we need today is not to detach from each other, or someone like to call it decoupling. I think this is not the time to separate from each other, but to firmly tighten the bonds of cooperation and seize the new opportunities so as to turn the great potentiality of each of us into reality and to harvest more fruits from the cooperation. Lastly, but I think it's a very important point that I wanted to make, is that it is such a happy coincidence that actually tomorrow, 5th of June, marks the 48th anniversary of diplomatic relations between our two countries. And our relations for the past 48 years, has been characterized by mutual respect, mutual assistance, cooperation, and partnership. And we are very happy about this relationship. It is so important, but I think it's more important not just to celebrate or to commemorate this anniversary, to work on how to further develop this relationship. So actually, when we look back at the relationship and have a review what is going on today, I am very much confident and truly believe that in this new era, our bilateral relationship will come into full bloom and bring about much benefit to both of our countries and our great peoples, because this is really
I think there is a problem with the connection of the ambassador. Μόνο σε μένα κόλλησε.
Όχι, κόλλησε λίγο.
Κόλλησε. So, okay. Mr. Minister, Her Excellency was about to finish. Okay, so τώρα κόλλησε και του Υπουργού. Your Excellency, we lost you. I don't know if you wanted to complete your greeting today. We cannot hear you. You have to open the audio. Your Excellency.
I'm here. I had some problem, but I fixed it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so I don't know. You lost me from where?
Oh, at the end. You were at the end.
One last paragraph. So I say one last thing. My last point. I just wanted to say that it's such a happy coincidence that tomorrow, 5th of June, is actually the 48th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between our two countries. I think, you know, we are very happy that we have had such a fruitful relationship, and our relationship has been characterized by mutual respect, mutual assistance, cooperation, and partnership. So in this new era, I am very much convinced, and I truly believe that we will see this relationship further develop, and it will come into full bloom. And because this is a relationship that is conducive to both sides, it's a win-win relationship, and it will bring much benefit to our two peoples. Thank you. 谢谢.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mrs. Zhang Qiwei, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China in Greece. Mr. Minister, we know that you have another ministerial appointment at 10 o'clock, a meeting. So, Minister Adonis Georgiadis, whenever you want, you may go.
I have to meet the Prime Minister because we organized our first official trip abroad. It will be in Israel. So we want to be very well prepared for our trip there. This is the reason I have to leave in 5 minutes. But I wanted to say once more, it was a great honor for me having you here. We will release a press release from our ministry about this meeting we had, because we want to make publicly well known that we continue, and that we continue by building extremely strong relationship with China as we had before. And I'm telling you again, Your Excellency, and thank you for all the nice words you said about the Greek people and the Greek government and what we did all this recent period, that we want to use this period to make our relationships even better than they were before. And you remember that when the crisis started, me personally expressed all these things publicly, and in the TV and in the newspapers and everywhere, because I wanted to send a clear signal to our people.